Hey guys, welcome back to Sophisticakes by Mary. For this tutorial, I'm going to show you how I made this geometric chocolate heart cake with shimmery pink fondant and piped rosettes. And I'm going to show you how I added that shimmer to the fondant. So if that sounds interesting to you, please stick around and we'll get right to it after the intro. Okay, so just like always, and new to you if you're new to my channel, we need to start with the decorations that need time to set up, dry, cool, firm up, whatever it may be. In this case, it is my geometric shaped chocolate hearts. So I bought this geometric heart shaped silicone mat on Amazon, and I will attach a link in the description. And I'm just using candy melts. You could use chocolate if you want to, but I personally do not like to temper chocolate. I have not had good luck with it, so I stay away from that whenever I can. So for me, I used just regular Wilton brand candy melts, and I used, it's a royal blue and white, and then a pale pink. So first you melt your chocolate in 30-second increments on 50% power until it is pourable, and so that you can move it around in your mold. And you can add some oil if that helps you get it more movable, if it's not getting into the nooks and crannies that you need it. And tap your mats on the table to remove any air bubbles. And that was another mat that I had bought for some smaller shaped hearts. And once they have firmed up in the freezer or the refrigerator, pop them out of your molds. And I'm using just a hot plate that I just put in the microwave for about 30 seconds. To put half of the hearts on the plate to get them melted a little bit, stick them together, and then you get a whole heart. And then I just used my X-Acto knife to just cut off any excess chocolate that might have squished out the sides. Inevitably that happens. You can use the heat from your hands to smooth that out if you want to, but I happen to have that sitting right next to me, so I just used it for this time. And then once those are done, I just use some gold luster dust and a fluffy brush that is just used for cake purposes, and you just pounce it and rub it all over that chocolate because it sticks to the chocolate just fine without anything else. And then these little small hearts, I did the exact same thing too. Now the mold for that is a little deep, so I just didn't fill them as far. And just go over these hearts until they get enough gold on them, and then set them to the side to use for your decoration later. Now, putting the cake together, I already started off with a pre-crumb coated cake. It was 5 layers of cake. It's a 6-inch cake. I think this one was a white almond vanilla. And use your buttercream to do your final 1 or 2 coats of buttercream. I tend to do 2 coats of buttercream after the crumb coat. I just find that I get a neater finish on it, but since this one was going to be covered in marshmallow fondant, I just did it in one go. You do want to make sure that your surface underneath the fondant is as smooth and perfect as you can get it. I mean, perfect, it's impossible to get. So as smooth as you can get it, because fondant will not hide any boo-boos or bumps or anything you don't like. It's just actually going to emphasize it. And here I'm using my marshmallow fondant that I just colored with a little bit of pale pink. And I'm popping the air bubbles out of it, using cornstarch to keep it from sticking to my surface and my rolling pin. Now I rolled it out to about an eighth of an inch thick, quarter of an inch thick, and I just lift it up with my hands and drape it over the fondant and get that upper edge smoothed out as fast as you can, because you don't want the weight of the fondant to pull that fondant down and cause tearing along that upper edge. And just use your hands to just smooth it down, go down a little bits at a time. Start at the top, go down a little bit, smooth that, then keep going down. Don't try to get one part smoothed all at once, because you're going to cause problems for yourself pleating later. And then smooth it out with your smoother, and I like to take a wad of fondant and use that to get it even smoother. I mean, your fondant smoother like I used there is fine, but it doesn't conform to the shape of the fondant like a piece of fondant would. And then I'm just using my fondant smoothers to clap them together And then I had actually put another board on top of the cake, turned it upside down, and I just used my fondant smoother to create that more of a crisp corner when it's upside down. So then maybe someday I'll do a video on that as well. Then just turn it right side up again and you have your crisp corner. And just keep working it until you get it the way you want it. Corner, I mean edge, the crisp edge. And then to do the shimmer, I am just coating the cake in shortening. Now don't worry, you're not using enough shortening that you're gonna taste it. You're not even gonna know it's there. This is just to get the surface in a condition to accept the shimmer. The shimmer, the dust is going to actually stick to the shortening. Otherwise, you don't get the depth of color or as intense of a shine if you just pounce it on just the regular fondant. Now this pink, it's pretty, but I wanted a paler pink, and in hindsight, I kind of wished I had stuck with just the color of the fondant as it was. But as you'll see, I actually went back and used another color to kind of mute it down a little bit. And of course, I lost the footage of me doing the sides, but I showed you there, that's how I did that. And this is a pearl shimmer, and I'm just using the same fluffy brush, doing the same thing. So if you missed, since you didn't get to see me doing the pink on the sides, I did the same thing as I'm doing now with the pearl, the silver pearl. Just use your fluffy brushes. They tend to work the best. And that right there, I was just adding a little more shortening in a spot that needed it. And then going back over it with your dust. And just keep doing this until you get the entire surface covered. And I found adding that actually muted the color pretty much where I wanted it. Maybe a little bit still too bright, but that's okay. I think it all worked out in the end. And I'm using that same pearl, silver pearl, on the hearts to add the same shimmer to them so that it ties it all together. And you do not need to add anything else to those, just like I did the first time. Just the chocolate accepts the dust just like it did with the gold. And there I'm using a small French tip with buttercream and creating some little pale pink rosettes, adding my small chocolate hearts to them. And I'm just using a little buttercream behind the hearts to get them to stick. And then I added some slightly larger white rosettes with another small French tip. The French tip is just a regular tip with more points to it, so you get a little bit more definition in the texture. And then when you get the first groupings done, take a look at it, spin it around, see where you may be missing something. And I knew I was going to add some gold rods to it also, and some pearls, some gold spheres, small ones, into spaces where I needed to. So don't try to cover the entire surface. You can fill in as you go. And now I'm starting to add those other gold, I guess they're sprinkles, but they're called rods. And some of the gold dragees, the slightly larger dragees. And I wanted to incorporate some more of that royal blue color, so I just used a regular round tip. I'm not sure what size it was, I can't remember, but it's a medium-sized round tip, and just did some little circular piping. And I patted down how you get that that tip to it. Just put some cornstarch or some powdered sugar on your finger and tap it down. You can wait until it crusts over if you want to, but if you don't have the time or the patience, like I don't, just go ahead and tap them down that way, and you'll see I do that. And then I'm filling in some more. And now I just used some skewers to get the hearts on top for the topper. I just kind of spun them in the bottom with the pointy end so that I did not crack them. Just kind of spin it in there so you're not putting too much pressure on that seam. And then I just stacked one behind the other and added one of the gold ones in the front. If you wanted that to blend in better, you could use just some of your pink food coloring and paint those skewers if you wanted to do that. But this is just for demonstration purposes. Nobody was gonna pick it up for an order, so I didn't take that step, but you can do that at home. So here it is, guys. My geometric shaped chocolate heart cake with rosettes and shimmery fondant. I hope you like what you saw, and if you did, please like, share, subscribe, and we'll catch you next time. Bye.